All right, welcome to our town hall meeting tonight. Our goals for the evening, actually there's several goals for the evening. There's going to be what we're going to call 4 meetingettes. As we put this together originally as one presentation, we realized essentially there's 4 different small meetings that we're going to have tonight. The reason why we're doing it now in November and December is really important, is we want feedback. And we want feedback, we want listening, we want ideas that come about this. And so we're doing this in November and December because this is the perfect time to take valid feedback to incorporate into our process. In January and February is when the budgeting and mission plans for the years really get written. Budget hearings happen in March. They're published into the pre-conference journals, and then we come back out in pre-conference meetings here in late April and in May, and then the annual conference occurs in June. Knowing that as Methodists, everything that we talk about now is ultimately going to be voted on. It's voted on at the annual conference in June, so the membership approves it. Also, there's other times to discuss this, but we think this is the correct time to introduce and share some ideas, get the feedback, so we can truly put it in the top of the funnel right now. The four meetingettes that we're going to have tonight, it's first going to start with an opening activity. Then we're going to have a brief review of the strategic priorities that were adopted in 2013. We're going to discuss the Design Task Force's initial recommendations of organizational redesign. And we're also going to talk about the financial health of the conference. So we're going to get started right away with the opening activity. And this is an activity that you're going to be involved in too. So the first activity is, what is the mission statement of the United Methodist Church? This is the audience participation part.
Make disciples of Jesus Christ. Make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world.
Wow, this was much more unison than usual. That was good over here. We got a few songs. Amazing. Okay. Anyway, I'm in a singing mood tonight as my daughter was talking about her swing choir audition. So the mission of the church is to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. Well, if I talk about my son who's in 3rd grade, you just got half credit for that. If you go to the discipline, the mission of the United Methodist Church is, the mission of the church is to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. Local churches provide the most significant arena through which disciple making occurs. It's a two-sentence mission statement. Sometimes we forget the second sentence. So the local churches provide the most significant arena through which disciple making occurs is going to be a theme that we'll come back to a couple times. It's also the basis for our opening activity tonight. I'm going to ask you a question. What does the local church need from the conference? So since this is a group participation thing, I am going to break you into, let's break into 3 groups tonight. So form up into 3 groups that you're going to talk to tonight, and I am going to give you notepads, or Post-it notes, and pens. And I'm going to give you 7 minutes, and as your group, you put ideas on the Post-it note. What does the local church need from the conference? Every idea, 1 per notepad. We're going to put it up here, and then we're going to use dots, and we're going to come out with the 5 top things that the West Des Moines Valley Center said. We're going to put that on the website and say, what does the local church need from the conference? And we're going to put that on the website as a poll and ideas to come out of that. So that's our opening activity to get feedback. So break in. Perfect. First treasures, yep. So we have training for financial staff, communication on resources available, and more input into apportionments. Okay, middle group.
We came up with inspiration.
Inspiration.
Support.
Support.
And informational resources.
Informational resources, okay. So we're going to put, so inspiration is clearly a new one here. support informational resources. So is communication on available resources and informational resources, I can group those two together, and support we'll kind of put as its own. Okay, last group.
We have,
It's you, Betty.
okay, we have the appointment system. We rely on the conference for the pastor.
For pastoral appointment,
We rely on, we need the communal mission, and we're talking about mission projects that, we cannot do alone, so that you can only
the
do.
communal
through a
or connected missions,
Yes.
okay.
And we talked about communal vision, a vision that.
The vision one,
the
we have
vision of the-
vision, we have right here, we'll do inspiration vision.
Yes. And we also talked about communication in a couple of other ways. Communication about priorities, what is important to the church, and what the resources are that are available. And then communication also about just sharing ideas, what's going on in other churches and successful initiatives.
People have called that communication networking a couple times. Can we use that one? Okay. So this one will be communication networking, and this is communication, which was right here.
And then finally, we talked a little bit about leadership presence, that the local church or not. And then when we got to do kind of filtering that out, it was more about just, some assurance that there's a synergy between the conference or for the leadership and the local churches, that we're all on the same path, that we're all
Okay, a
working.
tie between leadership and the local church. So let me try to summarize these. So we'll go tie between local church and leadership. This is the communication networking. Appointment system. This is the communal mission projects, communication of resources. Training of financial staff, more input into apportionments. This is the inspiration and vision. And this one was support. Refresh me, the support of just support, general support? Okay, so it's support. All right, so everybody, you have 3 dots now, or they should be passed out, and we're going to vote. So we come out of the site with the 5 things that you think the conference most needs to provide to the local church. We're shooting for about 5. It may not be 5. We've had from 5 to 7. Hi, Margaret. And let's take our vote and see what we have now. So put 1 dot in 1. You can put 3 dots in 1. You can stick them on art back there if you want to. If you stick it on art, it really counts for nothing, but it's kind of fun. So come on up and put your dots on the board. All right, it looks like we have, well, you guys are going to get away with 6 like several of the other groups. It looks like the ones are communications of resources, training for financial staff. 3rd is inspiration and vision. 4th is communication and networking. And then there's a tie for 5th between more input into apportionments, which you guys are going to like section 4, I think, and tie between the local church and leadership. And so these are things we need to think about on trying to improve. I know, just for example, the communication of financial staff has been something after 6 meetings has been a glaring thing. And so Chuck Smith used to have something called treasury notes that he printed. Todd Weber stopped that. So the last one came out in the summer of 2012. You're going to see the first treasury notes that I've written will be coming out before Friday. So treasury notes are coming back. And really, I'm going to have some more discussions on what's the best method for providing some of these things. but you're going to start seeing more. I'm not going to guarantee they're going to be perfect right away, and I'm not going to guarantee they're going to be perfect in 6 months, but we're going to try to do that. And I know Art back here has seen a couple of these presentations and is really looking at some ways of trying to evolve the communication. So I want to thank everybody for doing this part of the project to start with.